What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Moo Trades, and today's video we're going to be doing a quick summary of the first 7 days of this Apex Trader Funding challenge that we decided to embark on. I've been live streaming every single day, so we're going to do a quick 7-day update. I'm going to be going through every single trade that I took live. We're going to be looking at what I did right, what I did wrong, what I could have improved on, and ultimately where we're at in the challenge and what my thoughts are right now. So this is day 1 right here on the screen. It's last week, September 25th, and we started off the live streaming journey again with an 0-2 day. So I'm gonna be going through my 2 losing trades. So didn't start off on the right foot. Definitely had some psychological pressure. I'd live streamed a few months ago, took a big break, decided to come back. I was like, you know what? I'm going to give the people what they want. And then day 1, bang, got smacked in the face. 2 losing trades in a row. So first trade, in the overnight session, we had a significant move down. We had the break. We had a couple legs to a new low. And in price action, when you have 2 legs to a new low like this, like we see right here, it usually means it's time to start looking for a potential reversal, that the downtrend could be over. And that's exactly what happened, because after this, we just ended up rallying. But for my first trade, I was still in the mindset that we were going down. So I saw this downtrend. I probably had something drawn like this. And I took a lower high here. It was a very low risk bar, but what ended up happening was that I took trade right here below the EMA, low risk bearish bar, but got stopped out, started the challenge 0-1. And then, as we were talking about, the price action rules were followed. I had my downtrend drawn incorrectly because, the rules with trend channels are that there's got to be at least a few touches on either side, and you really don't want to see a bunch of space if it's going to be a valid downtrend. So that's why, look how much more concise and neat this downtrend looks compared to this wide term one. And another thing with trends, you usually want to draw them from the swing high, and the first two touches are usually from the next swing high. So it would be something like this. But obviously that isn't valid. So in my head, it means, okay, this concise downtrend is valid. We had the break, 2 legs to a new low, should have reversed, and that's exactly what happened. But I went short just 4 minutes into the market open, 4 minutes into the live streaming challenge. And then let's see where my next trade was. So start off 0-1. Already was like, man, oh man, this live streaming game is not gonna be easy. And then what happened? I decided to kind of take a shot in the dark, ignored, once again, a significant move up. I believe what I had at this time was some sort of range like this, but even though we had no rejection at all, I once again just ignored that fact and decided to go short after, like I said, just a significant move up. No real rejection at these areas, and after I got 2 losing trades, I knew that I wasn't seeing the market right, so ended the first trading day on these accounts 0-2. Let's move on to day 2. So day 2, once again, similar story to day 1, was very eager to get in the swing of things, and I took a trade, once again, exactly 5 minutes into the market open, in the middle of all this congestion, and it ended up being a losing trade. And I should have clarified one thing. So these wins and losses are all based on 1-point scalps. So at the start of the challenge, I had one contract going for a 1-point scalp and another contract as a runner. And now what I've been doing the last few days is that I've been using 2 contracts per account. So I've been trading 2 $50,000 accounts, 2 contracts each, and each one is either going for a 1-point scalp. Occasionally, if the scalp goes very quickly, I'll take 2 points, but most of the time it's just quick and easy, 1-point scalp, in and out. So getting back to this trade, just once again, eager to pull the trigger, ended up having that losing trade, but I knew range rules like to be followed. So once we got to the top of the range, I knew that most breakouts fail. So once we failed out the top, had a nice lower high bearish bar. That's what I'm looking for in these ranges, and look at the prices take off. So I started off 1-1. That was just about 15 minutes into the market open. Then, once again, let's zoom out, and we had a nice concise downtrend. And if you are a price action trader and you're gonna be drawing downtrends, ranges, there comes a dilemma. You can either rely on these, or you can go in blindly and not draw any charts. But if you are someone who draws trend channels, you have to be confident in your chart reading skills. Also, given you're a experienced chart reader, experienced trader, where you can be confident in your drawings, just keep in mind, if you are going to draw them and you see your setup, don't be afraid to jump on and take a setup if it follows your rules. So in this case, we had one leg up, break, two legs up. The market works in pairs of twos. We had a nice bearish signal bar, perfectly off of the top of the trend channel that I drew. I was confident that this downtrend was very, very strong. So I took a chance, but a calculated chance, as with everything in day trading, and got a nice quick scalp out of that. So day two ended 2-1. Little bit of a bounce back from day one, but still was a little over eager to start the day. 4 minutes in, had a losing trade, and you never really want to see that. Now, day three. So day three, let's see what ended up happening. Day three was another losing day, 1-2. So I don't know if you can tell right now, but start the day, 15 minutes in market open, took a decent higher low risk bar, but basically, once again, we had a range, we broke out the bottom of the range, traded up significantly, tested the EMA, had a nice higher low, and snuck in with a limit order and ended up getting a scalp. So this time, instead of starting the day with a losing trade, started the day with a winning one, which was good to see. But then we started working lower, and I have no idea, looking back at this trade, why I took a long here, but sometimes that happens, especially when you're live streaming. You're a little nervous. You want to make up for previous day's losses. Took a long here. No reason to take a long. I mean, we were clearly working down at this point. No rejection, and got punished for it. So 1-1. And then kind of the same scenario here. Basically, what I saw was that we had a two-legged pullback. So we had a new high here. We went down. First entry, second entry long. I was definitely not reading the market right at this point. I was thinking that we had a sort of uptrend here that we wanted to, I guess, continue working higher after we reached the overnight lows. So I basically probably thought that we were in the middle of a range and then we were going to work higher to the highs. So that's why I took a long right here. And actually looking back, that's why I also tried to pick this bottom, simply because we kind of touched at the overnight lows, but there was no real rejection. So if you are going to do that, make sure there's clear rejection in the form of a higher low, or after we have a failed breakout and then we start working above the EMA. Then you can start switching gears. But 1-2, ended the day there. Another red day. At this point in the challenge, I was like, man, this is not going well. I got to reassess. Got to stick to my rules. I was definitely not trading how I used to trade. And when I say used to trade, just before the challenge, when I'm trading by myself, don't have any chat going on, don't have anyone letting me know what I should, what I shouldn't do, and nobody watching me, obviously. But then we had something good happen. The days following this, honestly, You really cannot get any better, because after that, I did not have a losing trade for the next four trading days. So let's go on to day number 4. So day number 4, we were 4-0. And I took 3 trades just off the gun. 1 pre-market, 1 right after market open, another 1 right after market open. So here, I was like, you know what? I'm usually not afraid to take trades right during the market open. Obviously, I'm definitely more cautious, but in this case, in the pre-market session, we had a clear trading range that was looking very healthy. And what I mean by healthy, we were working from the highs to the lows, back to the highs, back to the lows, and until proven otherwise, I'm going to respect these ranges. So once we had 1 touch, 2 touches, 3 touches, 4 touches, a 5th touch at this level, on top of the fact where we had this downtrend, we had the break, once again, 1 leg, 2 legs to new low. Nice low risk bullish bar. I'm going to risk that scalp, and it ended up working out. We had another sort of failed breakout. And once again, we had another rejection looking bar, bullish bar, low risk at this same support area. I took another scalp, went long above this signal bar, worked out once again. What do we have here? A failed second entry short. So we had this new low. We went up, got rejected once, went up again, got rejected twice. And I knew that a lot of traders were going to be sucked into taking this short right here, when you should really be thinking to go long after, like we've been saying, there's a ton of support at this area. So after a bearish bar like that, when we got a nice bullish one, I knew that it was a rejection bar. A lot of traders were going to get trapped. I went long again. I was feeling confident, and it worked out. So 3-0 to start the day, 3 minutes into market open. That's like very rare, but it does happen. And here, the 4th trade, we probably got bailed out a little bit, because once again, we reached the highs of the range. So at this point, we should be thinking that we could reverse, because those ranges, we sell high, buy low. I believe what I had at this point was an uptrend like this. But even so, even if you have an uptrend going and you see sideways bars like that, you should definitely stick with the more concise trend channel with a lot more touches, because this is what is going to essentially follow the price action, what you think should happen and what ended up happening. So we had this uptrend, we had to break new high, where we expected to reverse, we definitely reversed, so at these range highs. But the market does work in pairs of 2, so we had a double top, we went down once, we had a first entry, went down again, we had a second entry long, because all in one bar we went below the EMA, pushed back up, and then we went below the EMA a 3rd time, or tried to a 3rd time, and then once again had a bullish signal bar following bearish one. So this was essentially a double trap, depending on how you see it, but essentially we went down once, down again, down a 3rd time. So all the people who are going short, trying to trap the longs on the second entry long, they got trapped. So that's why this trade worked out. And after that, I didn't take any more trades on these accounts, and was 4-0, was feeling great, and I was ready for the next trading day. So let's see what happened then. I believe this is day number 5. Another interesting day, but day number 5, we were 5-0. How about that? So let's take a look on these trades. So once again, overnight session, you always want to draw your trend channels if you are a price action trader, and I was confident in this uptrend. I mean, we had several touches, so when we had a nice higher low in the pre-market, I took this long right here. So what I saw was that we had a new high, went down once, had a break, went down again. So here's a trade that I definitely considered pre-market right here. It's a second entry long, new high, first entry long, second entry long. Didn't end up taking that, but what I did take was this nice higher low confirmation that the bulls are still in the market. We're above the EMA, nice bullish bar. Once again, off the bottom side of the trend channel where I respect that area. And then we ended up working lower and lower and lower. And at this point, I probably had a range drawn like this, which is why I took this trade. So I don't think I had this downtrend either. So what I had was this short-term downtrend, break, couple legs to a new low. We had one touch, two touches, three touches. This was essentially the fourth touch, fourth confirmation of the support area. Range rules would say that we're expecting to test the highs. That's why I took a long here. It was right into the EMA, which is why we had some hesitation before going lower. And then that's why, I mean, that's why we go for 1 point scalps, because you don't have to predict the big moves, but you just want to go for a little move. You're in and out. Even if the prices end up going in the opposite direction, you still can get in for a scalp, get out for a scalp, and then start trading the other direction, which is exactly what I did. So this trade, once again, I was drawing my short-term downtrend, which was respecting prices on both sides, the bottom and the top. And here we have another double trap. And those double traps are very, very powerful. So counting from this new low, we went up once. We had a first entry long. First entry short, my bad. Went up again, second entry short. And what happened with that second entry short? All the traders who went short below this doji bar, they got trapped with this bullish bar. So the shorts, they got trapped. Then all the traders who are going to go long blindly, not paying attention to this downtrend, they're going to go long right here. And then what happens? Boom, another signal bar that was completely opposite to the one before it, signaling, okay, the double trap is in effect. I went short right there, and it worked out once again for a nice looking scalp. And then at that point, the range came into play. We ended up trading to the top of the range, went down to the bottom of the range, and we had a failed breakout here. Nice bullish bar. I went long right there. Barely got out for a scalp. I think I entered with a limit order. Yeah, barely had enough room to get in and out with a scalp. So I was counting my blessings right there. Once again, probably didn't have this downtrend drawn, but that's why I'm a scalp trader, because you don't have to be right 100% of the time, but you will end up being right a very high percentage of the time, even if you don't necessarily predict the big moves. And sometimes you will predict the big moves. It's just how it works. So now at this point, we took another long, and the reason I took this is because we had a slight overshoot of this downtrend. So we had a nice concise downtrend. We had the overshoot, which in my eyes and price action rules states that it might be time for a trend in the other direction to start coming to fruition. So I drew this uptrend. We had a third confirmation of this uptrend. We also had this mini little congestion area. We broke out the bottom. We had a nice bullish signal bar. On top of the fact where we had a double top here, we went down once. First entry long, went down again. Second entry long, trapping the traders who were going short right at this signal bar. And we caught a nice move, but we were in and out for a scalp. That was the last trade I took of this trading day. 5-0. Not too bad, not too bad. Now, day number 6. Day number 6, 2-0. So if you were keeping track, day number 4, we were 4-0. Day number 5, we were 5-0. Day number 6, we're 2-0. That's 11 wins in a row. Not bad after a rough start, but nice looking short setup right here to start the day. 18 minutes into market open. So what I saw in the overnight session, we had a significant move down. So my bias is definitely I'm looking for shorts. Now, we did have this uptrend, but in my eyes, I saw that we were forming a range. We had a lot of rejection at this area. We bounced there again. So once we started working below the EMA, I was looking for a short setup, which we got right here. It was another second entry short, new low. We went up once, failed. We went up again, second entry, second opportunity to go short at the EMA. Nice bearish signal bar. We have a ton of room to the lows of this potential range, and it worked out for a nice scalp. And what happened? We ended up getting to the lows of the range. So once we got to the lows of the range, I was thinking, all right, let's go long. At this point, this long was not a bad setup, but it looked like there wasn't a ton of rejection, so it was hard to pull the trigger on it. But once we got to the top of the range, we had this short-term uptrend. We had a break once again, couple legs to a new high, triple top right here. We essentially replicated a lower high because we had a double top. We went down, tested again, rejected that area all in one bar. Excellent bear signal bar. We were looking a little sideways, but it just goes to show how powerful these ranges really are. A lot of traders are going to try to buy at this point, buy the breakout. I like to fade the breakouts, and then it ended up respecting price action rules. We went to the bottom of the range again. So 2-0. Nice day right there. And then let's go on to day number 7, what we had today. And it made it 16 wins in a row. So not bad at all. We had another 5-0 day today. So day number 4, 4-0. Day number 5, 5-0. That's 9, 10, 11. Day number 6, plus 5, 16 wins. I hope I'm getting that math right. I think I am. I think it was 16 wins in a row. But 5-0. Here we go. And once again, these are wins assuming that I was going for 1-point scalps last week. So I think a couple of the trades I took last week went for 1-point scalp, while I also had a contract going for a 2-point scalp. So a couple times the 2-point scalp didn't work out, but now that I'm only scalping for 1 point, that's why I'm saying 16 wins in a row. But today we actually went for, I think two of the trades we scalped for 2 points as well as 1 point. So one contract went for 2, one contract went for 1 point. 2 or 3 of the trades today, which was good because we had a lot of volatility today. But essentially we had another range to start the day. So let's zoom in right here. So right at market open, we had a move up to these range highs. We had a nice bearish signal bar. So just a simple failed breakout. Once again, we had 1 leg up, break, 2 legs up. These price action rules are followed in these markets. So that's what I saw. We had a lot of room to the EMA. So I placed a sell order right here after the first, second, third touch at this area. Nice little scalp. And once again, what did we do? We had a lot of congestion, a lot of sideways movement. So even if we're just paying attention to this short-term range right here, we had to break out the top, bearish signal bar. The breakouts are going to fail the majority of the time, and then we ended up working lower. So simple stuff, just playing range rules, shorting at the top, buying at the bottom. You're gonna be good a lot of the time. And then, I mean, after we saw prices started working higher is when I then put this uptrend in. But at this point of the day, when I took these 2 trades, it definitely just looked like a range we were having, and obviously we definitely were trending down in the overnight session. So I was seeking for prices to continue going lower, which ended up happening in a significant way throughout the rest of the day. And then we had another nice trade right here. So we had a crazy move down after a news announcement. We had a couple attempts to go higher above the EMA. And then what happened here was we essentially tested this bottom of the range, this resistance area, support area, however you want to call it. We tested that area once again right here. When I saw this bearish bar with room to the EMA. I hopped in on that, and I wish at this point of the challenge that we still had runners going in, because I would have kept this trade going for at least 10 points, because I mean this trade went, if you were in the live today, it went fast. But in any case, in and out for a nice scalp, and then we had a nice failed second entry long below the EMA, nice bearish bar. So we had a new high, we went down once, first entry long, second entry long. Actually, it was technically a lower high of the failed second entry long. But in any case, lower high, bearish bar below the EMA, and then once again went for a significant amount of points. So I wish, it's easier said than done, but I wish I was holding a runner at that point. But the 1 point scalps have been good for the psychology, and I was happy to just take a scalp. And now is an interesting spot. So I was explaining this in the live today, but what I've been mentioning is in ranges, you definitely want to buy low, sell high. But there's also another factor that you have to keep into account, which is the overall context of the day. And at this point, we were in a massive downtrend. So when I see a massive downtrend, I'm only thinking to go short. And we had this clear range, clear sideways movement. We had a breakout of the range, but we also have to respect these short-term trends. So we had this short-term trend, and the rules with trends are that we don't expect them to reverse on a dime. Even if we're having a failed breakout, we want to see a break and a new low of this short-term downtrend before prices reverse. Because prices don't just go to the lows of the range and then immediately reverse. They still follow price action rules when it comes to short-term trends. So when I saw this second entry short right here, at the middle of the range, which usually I avoid trades in the middle of the range, I was confident that because of all the downward bias we were having, we were going to respect this downtrend. We had a nice second entry, 2 legs to the EMA once again. I'm going to hop on this all day, every day. And good thing I did, because it stalled for a little bit, but then we ended up working lower. And I mean, look at this. We just had a crazy downtrend. But after that trade, I was ready to be done with these accounts for the rest of the day. I mean, once again, maybe could have had a runner keep going, but it is what it is. Can't be mad at 5-0. So for 7 days, the 7-day total is 19-5. And that's including the first 2 days, which were pretty rough, but it's also including 16 wins in a row. So right around 80% win rate for the first 7 days of this challenge. If you guys want to watch me live, I'm live streaming every single day, so tune in. And for those who are curious, here are the balances of both the accounts that we've been trading for the challenge. One of the accounts is slightly higher than the other, just from one trade that had some slippage going into it. It'd also be a little bit higher if we had been only going for 1 point scalps from the start of the challenge, but as we've been saying, that hasn't been the case. We did some experimentation to start off, but from now on, we're only gonna be going for 1 point scalps. And if you guys want to support the channel, tune into the lives. If you guys want to use Apex, there's a 90% off code and link in my description for 2 more days. It's good. Replicando, you can trade multiple accounts. Use my code MUMU20, and we'll see you then. Peace.